Hey guys, stop pushing me.
Here they were behind the scenes after a massively pressure-packed day. There were so many behind-the-scenes clips of yesterday's historic summit between Trump and Putin. Regardless of the outcome of the event, the behind-the-scenes look and seeing what really goes on with Air Force One, what goes on in the meeting room, with the press battling for position. It's really entertaining to check out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's Sean Daniel here. If you like it, hit that thumbs up button or subscribe for more. Let's go. There goes Trump, flanked by all the people in the presidential motorcade. Even the helicopter was following him in D.C. to get to Joint Base Andrews. That's so cool. And the plane is massive. Massive. And then a real on-the-ground look as Putin was hobbling over to Trump.
Mr. Putin, did you underestimate Ukraine?
Of course, a dumb reporter thinks they're going to get a question right there.
President Putin, will you stop killing civilians?
How much bigger Trump is.
President Putin, how can the U.S. trust your word?
No respect from some of these reporters. It's crazy. Just there they go, off in the beast. In the back right there. Wow. Wow. With Putin's presidential plane in the background, man. That's cool.
Anchorage, Alaska, Elmworth Air Force Base. Air Force One directly behind me. First plane of the Russian delegation directly across the tarmac. East is here waiting for President Trump to disembark. Got a full outfit. The military delegation here to meet the President of the United States and the President of Russia. More to come.
And Jack's got a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff from this day because he got to ride on Air Force One and be a part of the whole thing. It's cool to look at. There's F-22s flying over Putin's presidential plane over there. They really had the whole stage set for this big reveal. It's really, really cool. Such a serious moment, too. To be there and have this behind-the-scenes look must have been amazing. There's Putin's plane driving all in. Here's the awesome flyover they did with that B-2 bomber. That's some cool optics right there. Wow. What timing, too, that they had to coordinate that. That's impressive.
We got the rear cage, you saying here?
There's the Beast vehicle they'll ride in, and all these guys are getting in the presidential motorcade cars that will take them over to where the event is being held. They're delineated or marked as to which press people will get in which vehicle, which staff members will get in which vehicle, and Jack Posovic's getting a behind-the-scenes look at this. And so are we. Now get ready for a frenzy as the media tries to get into this meeting room with Trump, Putin, and the entourage.
В этот момент обычно, когда здесь так, это вот любят так делать американские службы безопасности, когда журналисты, вот смотрите, все, вваливаются, что называется, просто драка за то, что все.
Hey guys, stop pushing me.
Putin hasn't seen anything like this. Imagine what it's like to be in that room.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Mr. Putin, will you
Here comes all the yelling. Putin's like, what the heck?
Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you,
President
press.
Putin, why should President Trump trust your word now?
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
He's like, what the hell is this?
Everybody get out of the room!
Thank you, press. 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 Thank you, press.
It's amazing the lack of respect from these press reporters. They say, all right, thank you, press, time to get out of the room. And they just continue to hound these guys with questions. Maybe there's a reason Trump doesn't like the media. This is a cool view that Jack Posobiec had. Imagine being in that room and just, can you feel and sense the power and the mystique and the high operating just as a human and the things these guys have been exposed to? What is that like being in a room with those guys? Can only imagine. Must be so cool to have the privilege to see that, even if getting into that room comes at a big cost. Check out how Marco Rubio entered the room and how he greeted Putin and the staff. It's a super serious situation, and he's got to take some command. Here he comes. I believe he's met with some of these guys before. I'm not sure about Putin. And here was Putin after that meeting ended, before they did the press conference. Small guy. Surprised how small he is. Check out the scene in the room with Steve Witkoff, James Blair, right before they're about to do the press conference after the meeting ended. And you have the reporters just to the left of this spot. They're doing their little press spots and looking out at the cameras in the back. And then the big moment.
Уважаемый господин президент,
Some super powerful people in that room. That must have been so cool.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite got there, but we've made some headway.
And then Putin had a slick one at the end.
Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all.
Here they were behind the scenes after a massively pressure-packed day. Long travel, long deliberation. Short press conference, though. Short press conference. And now even Trump had another interview after this. They got a long ride back. He's got more calls to make. And as always, despite this massive workload that Trump has and pressure, massive pressure that we can't even comprehend, he still makes time to thank those who were in service that day, working around the plane, working with the motorcade. He does that with the armed forces and the police that help out. It's impressive. And it shows you he cares. Here's Trump disembarking back in Washington after a 20-hour day, which reports are he was taking calls all throughout the flight on the way back to Washington. So he flew all the way to Alaska, did the meeting, did the press conference, did an interview with Sean Hannity after, and then had to do calls with NATO, Ukraine,
How did your calls go?
in Alaska, and then he did it on the plane as well, which supposedly happened the entire flight back. And here's the view of the press pool coming back into the White House after flying back, then getting transferred from Joint Base Andrews back to the White House after a super long day, which must be so tiring. And yet they didn't even have the pressure of going up against Putin, against trying to defend all these other countries, getting a deal done. They must be tired. Imagine how Trump is.
Just now leaving the White House after first round of the Abraham Accords. It is 3 a.m. Saturday morning, 22 hours after we first arrived here at the White House yesterday. See the West Wing there. President Trump did not stop working the entire time. 20-hour trip. Many people will say that's what they voted for. Starting to see early reports about discussions of an air ceasefire, possibly over the skies of Ukraine. So we're going to be tracking that, of course. Also, we're told that President Trump spent the entire flight back on the phone with NATO leaders, including an extensive phone call with Zelensky. So we will see how that goes. But to the people who say that this meeting was a failure, you just don't get it, and you probably never will. Anchorage Accords, round 1. Signing off.
What a privilege it must have been to be at that event, to get to see these guys up close and just analyze them. A lot of these guys get to see Trump, but to see Putin up close, analyze just what is he like, to be in the same room as him, to see and feel his vibe in a way. Even if you just get into the press room, that little secret room where that whole fight was going on to get positioning, even if you don't get to talk to him, you can perceive a lot. And what a privilege, man. Regardless of how the meeting went, it must have been so cool to get a behind the scenes look like that, which is what I wanted to give to you guys in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. It's Sean Daniel here, and I will see you in the next one.